Hello! You already save a lot of money every year thanks to our videos, so save on car parts too. Buy them on the Mr. Auto app. Shipping is free.
Turn off the ignition. Pull up the handbrake. Pull on the bonnet release lever and open the bonnet. Open the brake fluid reservoir. In order to change the brake discs and brake pads on your vehicle, you will have to raise the front of the car and take off the wheels. This will provide you with full access to the brake discs. Raise the front of the vehicle and put in the two-axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. You will then be able to take off the wheels. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. Using a flathead screwdriver, lift the holding springs on the pads, then take it out. Make sure you keep a finger on the spring during the operation to avoid it jumping out. Turn the disc outwards. This will facilitate the process. Insert a flathead screwdriver to the outer extremity of the oblong hole located on the front of the brake caliper. Lift it off using the screwdriver as a lever by pulling it towards you. Using a thin flathead screwdriver, remove the caps covering the caliper mounting bolts. Using a socket wrench and a 7mm Allen socket, undo the two caliper mounting bolts. Remove the brake caliper. Attach a piece of electrical cable or a piece of string to one of the coils on the suspension spring. And to avoid damaging the brake hose, attach the brake caliper to the suspension with a pre-installed cable. You can now remove the pads. With a socket wrench and a 13mm socket, loosen the two caliper mounting bolts from the brake caliper mount. Depending on the state of the nuts on the brake caliper mount, it may be necessary to use a hammer to loosen them. To save time, finish the removal by hand. Take the disc off. You have to clean the hub with a wire brush. And once that is done, coat it with copper grease. This will help avoid deterioration caused by oxidation and aid with future interventions. Before putting the new disc in place, it is vital to clean it using brake cleaner and paper towels to take off the storage paraffin. If your new disc is painted, you can place it directly onto the wheel hub. Place the new disc onto the hub. Coat the brake caliper screws with copper grease. Put the brake caliper mount back on, screwing by hand to begin with. And finishing with a socket wrench and a 13mm socket to fix it completely. Using a wire brush, clean the brake caliper mount around the area where the pads will be placed. Coat the outside of the new pads with copper grease. Position the outside pad in its housing. Then remove the brake caliper and put the pad on the piston side in the brake caliper. Put the brake caliper in place on the brake caliper mount, pushing it in as far as possible. Rescrew the caliper mounting bolts, ensuring that they're properly in their positions. Finish the tightening with a socket wrench and a 7mm Allen socket. Make sure it is well tightened. Put the caps back in place, clipping them in as you do so. Put the holding springs on the pads back in place. Don't forget to withdraw the electrical cable or string that you attached to hold the caliper. You can now repeat the operation on the other side. Put the wheels of your vehicle back on and lower it to the ground. Before starting your car, don't forget to screw the brake fluid stopper back in. Be careful. Before using your vehicle again, start your car and pump the brake pedal a few times to bring the brake pads together again. Try to drive smoothly and avoid sudden braking for the first 50 kilometers or so to avoid glazing the new pads. Operation completed.